Hi, this is Christian and welcome to NFL Updates Express, your weekly dose of NFL news. Coming your way, the season predictions. Every year, all 32 teams want to get to the playoffs, but only 12 do. This is my predictions for the 12 teams that will get in this year. First up, the NFC Conference. First up, Wildcard Weekend. My first matchup is at MetLife Stadium when the Carolina Panthers take on the New York Giants. With the Giants coming off a Super Bowl win, I do not think they'll be as hungry as the new, energized Carolina Panthers. My prediction is the Panthers take this one away. My other prediction is the NFC South winner, Atlanta Falcons, versus the Chicago Bears. The Falcons have had previous struggles in the playoffs, and I think that will continue. The Bears have Brandon Marshall now, and they should cruise to an easy win over the Falcons. Next up, the NFC Divisional Round. This matchup is between the San Francisco 49ers and the Carolina Panthers at Candlestick Park. The 49ers have a dominant defense, and that should continue against second-year pro Cam Newton. I think the Niners will take this one at home. My next matchup is the Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. Both teams are, believe it or not, actually equally matched, but the difference will be between who will come out on top, the Bears' defense or the Packers' offense. I think the Bears' defense with Peppers and Urlacher will stop the Packers and the Bears get upset away. Coming up next, the NFC Championship Game. Both of these teams are pretty equally matched as the 49ers take on the Bears. They both have great defenses and great offenses, but what I think it will come down to is field position. With Devin Hester on the Bears should win that battle and get an overtime victory. The Bears are headed to the Super Bowl. Next up, the AFC Conference. The AFC is not predictable as you think. Here are my predictions for Wildcard Weekend.
I think the Titans will barely make the playoffs, but in my predictions, they face the New England Patriots in the wild card slot. I think the Patriots will run away with this game because of inexperienced quarterback Jake Locker for the Tennessee Titans and the experienced core of the New England Patriots. The Patriots will have an easy home win and attempt to try to get back to the Super Bowl for the second year in a row. Phillip Rivers is trying to get the San Diego Chargers to a Super Bowl, which he hasn't been able to do. But Peyton Manning, on the other hand, has 2 Super Bowl experiences, and maybe this might be Peyton Manning's year again. I say the Broncos will move on and beat the Chargers.
Next up, the Divisional Round. A great matchup here at M&T Bank Stadium when the number 1 seeded Ravens face the 4 seeded Denver Broncos. I say the Ravens defense will step up once again, sending the Ravens to the AFC Championship Game over the Denver Broncos. This matchup is between the New England Patriots and the Houston Texans. The Texans have never been to an AFC Championship, whereas the Patriots have been multiple times. I think the Texans defense will step up and send the Houston Texans to the AFC Championship Game. My predictions for the AFC Championship up next. It all comes down to this: the Baltimore Ravens and the Houston Texans. This will probably be the closest game of the afternoon, but the Ravens have a great defense and an improved offense and should get a narrow win over the Houston Texans to go to the Super Bowl. The stage is set for Super Bowl 47. It is between the AFC champions Ravens and the NFC champion Bears.
All the teams lay it down on the line for this moment, Super Bowl 47. This time it's between the Bears and the Ravens. I say that Joe Flacco comes out strong and has touchdown passes to Torrey Smith and a run by Ray Rice. But Cutler won't quit, and the Bears will eventually rally back for the win. But it won't be easy though, with Baltimore's stout defense including Ed Reed, Haloti Ngata, Terrell Suggs, and Ray Lewis. But with Brandon Marshall and Devin Hester on special teams, along with Matt Forte for the Bears should edge out the Ravens for the win. My candidate for MVP is running back Arian Foster. The Texans will base their offense around him, and he should get close to 2,000 yards on the season and become the 2012-2013 MVP. There will be many impact rookies this year, but one stands out in the crowd to me. It is quarterback Andrew Luck. He has looked impressive in the preseason and should have a solid rookie campaign for Rookie of the Year. My comeback player of the year is quarterback Peyton Manning. I think, depending on how his neck holds up, he should get back to a Pro Bowl elite status and become comeback player of the year. My offensive player of the year is wide receiver Calvin Johnson. The reason why is he can just jump over a quarterback or a linebacker and easily get the touchdown. My defensive player of the year is defensive end Jason Pierre-Paul. He is so athletic for a defensive end and already had a great season last year, and he should continue that and have another great season for defensive player of the year.
32 teams, only 12 make the playoffs. Now it's time for my playoff predictions for the 2012-2013 season. First up is the NFC Wildcard Weekend. The first match is the 3rd seed versus the 6th seed. The 3rd seed is the New York Giants, and the 6th is the Atlanta Falcons. My prediction is the New York Giants will take home the win and move on to the next round, the Divisional. The next match is the 4th seed versus the 5th seed. New Orleans at number 4 and Chicago at number 5. My prediction is with their dominant defense, Brandon Marshall, Devin Hester, Matt Forte, and quarterback Jay Cutler, the Bears should move on to the Divisional. Now it's time for the second round, the Divisional Round. In the Divisional Round, we have the battle of the two best defenses in the NFL, the 49ers versus the Chicago Bears. My prediction is that the 49ers win this one with coach Jim Harbaugh, a dominant defense, and running back Frank Gore. The other divisional match is a rematch of last year, the Green Bay Packers versus the New York Giants. The Packers are going to be driven by their loss in this same game last year and should win this game with Aaron Rodgers, Greg Jennings, their upgraded defense, and Jordy Nelson. Now it's time for the NFC Championship. It's the NFC Championship. The San Francisco 49ers versus the Green Bay Packers. I think the 49ers will be driven by the loss last year at this game and will come out over the Packers. They're going to the Super Bowl. Next up, the AFC Wildcard Weekend. The first game in the AFC Wildcard Weekend is the Houston Texans, seated at number 3, versus the San Diego Chargers, who are seated at number 6. I think the Houston Texans, with Andre Johnson and running back Arian Foster, they will win the game and move on to the division. The other wildcard weekend game in the AFC is the Denver Broncos, seated at number 4, versus the Cincinnati Bengals, seated at number 5. I think with Peyton Manning and wide receivers like Eric Deckard, who are up and coming, I think that the Broncos will take the win and move on to the divisional round. Next up, the Divisional Round. First up in the Divisional Round is the Baltimore Ravens versus the Houston Texans. The Texans have a good defense along with Arian Foster and Andre Johnson, and the Ravens players are starting to get old, although they have Ray Rice. So I think the Texans will actually take this win. A shocker, right? Another rematch from last year. It's the New England Patriots versus the Denver Broncos. Peyton Manning will try to step up his game against Tom Brady and the rest of the New England Patriots, but the Patriots will do their best to win this game again. I think the Patriots are going to move on to the AFC Championship. It's that time again, the AFC Championship. It's the AFC Championship. The Houston Texans versus the New England Patriots. The Houston Texans players will try to step up their game, such as Arian Foster, their defense, and Andre Johnson. But I think the Patriots, with Tom Brady, Aaron Hernandez, Rob Gronkowski, Wes Welker, and an upgraded defense, they are moving on to the Super Bowl. It's Super Bowl 47, the 49ers versus the Pats. The San Francisco 49ers versus the New England Patriots. The Patriots are going to try to win this one because they lost it last year, but the 49ers have the skills to make the game very, very close. But I think the New England Patriots are going to take home the Lombardi Trophy. I agree with Christian on this one. Arian Foster will be the 2012-2013 MVP. He's an amazing running back and can score almost every game. They hand it off to him a lot, so he gets a lot of chances to make big plays. Arian Foster is a true MVP. The Rookie of the Year. I think this award is heading to Heisman winner Robert Griffin III. RG3 looks good this year and could lead the Redskins to a great season. I agree with Christian again. Peyton Manning should be the Comeback Player of the Year. He was injured almost all of last season and will lead the Denver Broncos to a great season as well. Peyton Manning is a true comeback player. My Offensive Player of the Year is quarterback for the New England Patriots, Tom Brady. He has great wide receivers and can throw to anybody. My Defensive Player of the Year is linebacker for the San Francisco 49ers, Patrick Willis. He has a few sacks and is a great team player. I think he will get the Defensive Player of the Year award.
We want to know what you think about this season. Please respond in the comment box down below. Thanks for watching NFL Updates Express. We'll see you next time.